All my life, I've always blamed my shortcomings on the things that have stood in my way. And one example of this is in rugby, my shoulders pop out really easily. So every time I try to go into tackle, every time I try to go into contact, I'm always scared of whether my shoulder will pop out or not. And that's really annoying. And I would always blame the fact that I'm so bad at rugby on that. If I had a good shoulder, if I had a healthy shoulder, I would go into contacts with full force. I would be such a good rugby player. It even got to the point where I almost quit rugby altogether. I almost stopped playing rugby just because I was so sick of my shoulder popping out. And I want to talk about that. Wrong way. I went the wrong way. We all have things that stand in our way from achieving our goals. That's just how it works. But what I hate is when people say that the thing that stands in their way is the reason why they can't achieve it. Right? There's no obstacle that is, there's very few obstacles that are completely impossible to overcome. You just don't want to achieve your goal hard enough. And I'm not saying not achieving your goal is bad. Well, I'm not saying it's the worst. But I'm saying it's bad to blame that on the challenge that stands in your way. For example, for me, with my shoulders, I used to blame the fact that I wasn't good on my shoulders. But in reality, I just didn't commit. If I committed 100%, I wouldn't be so bad of a rugby player. Sure, maybe I'd injure my shoulders once or twice, but if I wanted it, I could overcome that pain, I could overcome all of that. So it all boiled down to me coping with the fact that I didn't want it hard enough, that I didn't want to achieve that goal. You know what I call that? Copium. It's the coping with the fact that I didn't achieve my goal because of me. It all boils down to you, not the thing that stands in your way. David Goggins had a heart condition. Oh, David Goggins, this guy, he's the dude that does a couple of runs, lost a couple of pounds. He's a former Navy SEAL. Pretty sick, if you ask me. But what's especially impressive about this guy is that he did all this. He did a 100-mile run. He got in the best shape of his life. He did all this before finding out that he had a heart condition that made it work 75% with 75% efficiency. He had 2 holes in his heart or something like that, which made it so that he had a lack of oxygen being provided into certain things, like his lungs, which is really important for running. Meaning he did a 100-mile run with a heart that works at 75% capacity, which is crazy. He could have just blamed it on that, but he didn't. He outworked that challenge, and now he's doing impressive things. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Shut up with the copium. Just shut up. So now the question is, what's the solution? How do you avoid copium? How do you deal with it? Well, you got kind of 2 options. One is you recognize that you are the reason why you haven't achieved that goal, not the barrier. There is no barrier. It's merely just a speed bump. So if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the grit to overcome that challenge, then admit that you don't. Don't say that challenge is inherently not overcomable. It's impossible to beat. You have to admit that you just don't have what it takes. That's hard. That's rough. I get it. Or you overcome it. Or you work towards it. You don't have to overcome it now, but you have to be working towards it. You have to be getting better. You have to overcome it. For me, I'm doing rehab. It's not like I'm just sitting around. I realize that my shoulder is really weak, so I'm doing something about it. I'm trying to overcome that barrier, that obstacle. At the end of the day, you're always going to find someone that has it better than you. Comparison is super stupid because there's always going to be someone out there that has an easier time than you, that just has been dealt better cards than you in life. That's just how reality is. That's just the reality of life. So, stick to your cards. Focus on the hand you've been dealt and do something with those. Stop comparing yourself to others. Like, someone may have it easier than you, but you have it easier in other ways. So, just please stop comparing yourself to others, especially with Copium. And if you think you're going to talk about Copium, if you think you're going to use Copium, please just shut up.